What is up? What is up? What is up? This is JD broadcasting live on a Saturday, man. This is a little odd on a Saturday, but you know, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it goes. If you're watching right now, please jump in the comments and say what up. I greatly appreciate it so that I know that everything is sounding good and looking good. Outside of that, yeah, we're gonna be doing a little coverage of CinemaCon today. CinemaCon 2025. Yeah, there were some interesting things that went down over the last week as far as us comic book and superhero nerds are concerned. So yeah, we're gonna be covering those things today. Katie Joe, yeah, on the outside looking in on the stream today. I guess she got too much to do, you know. She can't be bothered to hang out with her man today. That's fine. But we're gonna run it. We're gonna run it either way. And she's looking at me over there, so that's why I'm looking over there. Oh man. But yeah, that is the plan for today. We are going to get started shortly. I'm gonna let everybody sort of trickle in, give everybody 5 minutes or so before we get things going. And yeah, we're gonna be doing CinemaCon today, so I am planning on watching some videos about the Superman sneak peek that came out. We're going to learn a little bit about the Thunderbolts sneak peek that they gave everybody there, the Avengers information that they dished out. I think they dished out some Fantastic Four information as well. Also talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day. So we're going to be discussing that as well. And then we're going to get into reacting to the Sinners trailer. I saw it already, but I would love to react to it with everybody. And then also the Megan 2.0 trailer, which I have not seen and am very excited to react to. Hold on, I got to get my the light over here isn't on. What am I doing today? Get him in the screen. There we go. Now we're running things as usual. But yeah, so that's the plan. Like I said, if you're watching right now, man, please drop a comment. If there's something that you want to discuss and talk about, drop that comment as well, and we can discuss and comment on that. Yeah, these shows are much more fun when people are interactive as opposed to me just talking. I mean, I can do that. I can run through all this stuff just so I can have content, but I'd much rather like to discuss it with the Watch Stuff With Us family. As I take a sip real quick. But yeah, so that's gonna be the plan for today, guys. And like I said, we're going to get started. I think we're gonna start it off with a bang with the biggest thing. I think that was the Superman movie news and the like 5-minute preview that they put out there. Like, I haven't figured out a way to be able to do all this without getting like copyright stricken, but I think it might be worth it today. Everybody else reacts to trailers and stuff, but for whatever reason they don't get in trouble for it, but I guess I might get in trouble for it. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do first and foremost. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, and then we will get it popping. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we're going to check out the Superman sneak peek. I watched this already, and I'm very excited to watch it with you guys as well. It was good. So if you haven't seen it yet, please, please hang around and we can watch it together, and we can start it right now. Man, he is beat up. I wonder how deep this is into the movie. That's my question. Like, is this later on, or is this one of his early fights? I would think it would have to be one of his earlier fights, because I can't imagine him getting beat down so bad in the middle or the end of the movie. If so, that would be wild. If you're watching right now, drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the trailer. So much reminds me of my dog, man. Would do the exact same thing. Maybe not the biting part, but the jumping on you even when you're hurt or tired.
Take me home.
That's totally something they would do. Great CGI too, man. Great CGI. I was not expecting CGI to be so good.
Crypto. Home.
Yeah, this is gonna get eaten alive by the strikes, folks, but that's okay. We'll claim it as fair use. You hear that? This is fair use. Cool. Very good special effects, man. Very good. What is that voice in the background?
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
Super cool, man. Fortress of Solitude just turns and can go directly towards the sun. That's awesome.
Please swap.
James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy fame.
Who's back?
This looks pretty cool. Hawk Girl. Must be his dad. Earth Dad, we should say.
Superman.
I don't know who that guy is. One of the Green Lanterns. Okay. All right. That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. All right. I want to go back through it a little bit. Hold on a second. I'm gonna switch screens. Yeah, so if you're watching right now, what do you guys think of it, man? I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. It's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. I'll give it that. So, if we want to run through it real quick, I know that, yeah, I don't know. I really want to know what happened right here. Like, how did he get beat down so bad? Like, how deep into the movie is this? Did he, and how was he able to get away from whatever he was fighting that, hurt him so bad? I would hope and assume that this is somewhere early in the movie where he kind of overestimates or underestimates his enemy and gets the beat down because of it. So, yeah, solid. Looks good though. Looks good. I know his suit is baggy and people have been complaining about that. I get it. I get it. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't think that this is going to be his suit throughout. And of course we got the crypto scenes, yeah, which is awesome, man. I love it. I love it. And that's one thing that a lot of people had said when I was looking at some of the previews and listening to some of the other, nerd streamers and stuff. They were saying that they had heard that the movie was Guardians of the Galaxy Superman, which to me isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's not the best thing, but it's not a bad thing either. It depends on if they're able to balance that, because Superman hasn't really been the type of movie that has shown a lot of, like comedic elements, threw a lot of gags in there. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was kind of one of those things there. They got away with a lot of potty humor. I don't really think that they're going to do that with Superman. At least I'm hoping not. Like, it can be funny to some degree, but it needs to be at least serious in certain parts when it needs to be serious. And I think that's the balance that James Gunn was able to strike with the Superman or with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. What do you think? Let me know. But what I'm seeing now and what I like about this and what the Guardians of the Galaxy movie was able to do as well is it gives you that, how do you describe it? It has heart. It has heart. It has a spirit to it. And like, just the part with crypto, like it makes me care about, about Superman and about crypto. So that's already something that if this is able to hold throughout the movie, that, that James Gunn is able to do, because in the Guardians movies, he was able to balance the action with the comedy and also with the heart. And man, like I felt I cared about the characters. And that's one thing that you can't say about all the current Marvel movies, is that you don't, at least right now, I don't care about certain characters. There are a lot of characters who have had their own shows, who have had their own, series, and I don't care about them. Like, I'm watching Daredevil Born Again right now, and that show is below expectations for me. I don't know how you guys feel, but it's below expectations for me. And I feel as though that show it lacks the heart. It lacks the care. Like, I think in the beginning, with everything that happened early on in that show, I think that made me care about the characters. And then you had characters who were also connected to the Netflix series. But now, and I'm not going to spoil any of that, but now I don't care as much about them, because there's a disconnect there, and it's definitely different. And I don't like that. I don't like that, because we had a core group of characters that we cared about a ton. And like right now, that core group of characters, we don't have enough characters outside of Daredevil, outside of Kingpin, that you care about, and that brings the series down. But anyway, getting back to Superman, yeah, I feel like the heart is there. I feel like the spirit is there. Like, and you know, I get kind of mushy about movies and stuff anyway, and superhero movies, but yeah, this really did it to me. It did it to me. And I think it's gonna, I'm hoping that it gives us enough of all these things to put together a solid movie. And I don't want to see James Gunn fail. I don't want to see DC fail. I think that DC needs to be a a foe for Marvel, and Marvel needs to be a foe for DC. Both, you know, trying to one up each other, because then we as the consumer benefit. And that's what I want to see. Competition brings about innovation. It brings about a spirited rivalry. So that's what I want to see. And this definitely, if this movie is like this and it hits this vibe and it looks as good as it looks now, I think that we're gonna get that. So if you have not already, please hit the like button, man. I'm on here on a Saturday hanging out with you guys when I could be just about anywhere else, but I decided to be on here and to hang out with you guys and talk about CinemaCon. So yeah, please hit that like button, man. We got to get the likes up. There's no reason for there to be only one like. Yeah, not cool, not cool. Katie Joe says, I agree. I really hope it's as good as it looks. Yeah, I do too. I do too. And you know, I've been fooled by trailers before. I've been fooled by snippets before, and then the movie comes out and it doesn't have that vibe. I think that, again, the Daredevil Born Again series, in that trailer that came out, hit all the right notes. It looked amazing. It was exactly what I wanted to see. And now that we have the series, not feeling it. Not feeling it at all. At all. Yeah, the likes got to get up. Yeah, Katie's the only one liking the stream. I got a problem. Also, if you are watching and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, man. I would appreciate the subs. I'd appreciate the subs. So yeah, let's keep going on this. We got Crypto on here. Spider-Man in pain. I thought it was a cool note to have Crypto have to bring him back. We had the Fortress of Solitude springing up from the ground, which was super cool. Was not expecting that. That's one of those things where, you know, normally it's just out there, and just to see that they were able to conceal it in this way, it's smart. It's smart. I like smart movies. So, yeah, get to the door. Like, it looks great. This whole scene looks great. Superman logo is different. I don't know if I like this one as much as I've liked some of the other Superman logos, but yeah, this one is cool. This one is cool. And again, we got the Superman bots coming in to lift him up and bring him to get help. I do like the comedy aspects of the one robot, you know, telling him, or Superman, you know, being kind, says thank you, and tells them, you know, like, I appreciate you carrying me over here to help me heal. And the robot basically says, like, hey, I'm I'm a robot. I don't have feelings. I'm just doing my job. And then the other robot, or Superman, looks over at the other robot, who seems to be like female in gender, and kind of like smiles at the robot, and she gets all, oh, he smiled at me. So I like comedy on that sort of level. Like, you're going out there and saying, like, hey, these are robots. They don't care. They're just trying to do whatever. They're doing what their job is. And then you get another robot who is showing human-like feelings. So where's the answer with that? Where's what's real? I'm guessing that they do have a lot of human-like qualities, and do care, and do have compassion, that they've been programmed that way. So yeah, I like that. I like that aspect of it. Yep, fast forward a little bit. This is where they shine the sun on them. They have like some magnifying glasses, and they get the sun shined on them to help heal him, which is cool. It's crazy. I didn't think that that the sun hurt him, but I guess when it's magnified like this, it does. Yeah, so that was cool. We get this scene where he's going to save and protect a child from some debris that's falling, which is cool. Love the slow-mo looks. And here we get Lex looking pretty badass. I enjoy a good Lex. I'm hoping, like, okay, a lot of times you get different versions of Lex. You get the Lex that's like super hardcore, and then you also get the like whiny privileged child Lex. So I hope they're able to strike a balance between those two, because I really want a Lex that's balanced. Like I want him to be hard, I want him to be vengeful, but I also want him to not shy away from the smart alecky comments and stuff that he does on other comics and in other iterations of him that we've seen before. So I'm hoping that we get that version of Lex, that he's sort of in between both of those. Get a little peek of Hawk Girl right here. So yeah, we're gonna get other heroes in this as well. So I know later on in the trailer we get a vision of one of the Green Lanterns. We got Hawk Girl here, and I have not heard any rumors about any. Well, I haven't heard any confirmation on any of the Justice League appearing in this, but I have heard a rumor that there was going to be potentially a Batman in this. So I don't know if it's Robert Pattinson's Batman. If anybody knows, drop a comment. But yeah, I think that I think it's awesome that I think that it's not necessary to have full on Justice League characters in this. I think that you are establishing a universe. This is the beginning. This is the very beginning. There's no need to overwhelm things. There's no need to bog everything down with all of the politics that go into having the Justice League. Who's going to be their enemy? Like what's going on with them, and their interconnectedness and how they feel about each other. We don't necessarily have to do that right now. I think that eventually we'll get to that point. We'll get to the point where we need to start building that. But right now, you're just building what this world is, what this world looks like with Superman. I think you're building what the James Gunn vision of the DCU is. And if it's a slightly more lighthearted take, I'm fine with that. If it's a take with more heart, I'm fine with that. If they wanted to go all the way to the other end and do hardcore Superman, do hardcore Batman, because the Batman that we have in the Batman movie would fit in with a more vengeful, with a more dark universe. But I don't really see him fitting in necessarily very well with Superman. So that's interesting to see if they try to mix those two, or if we're going to get a different version of Batman to go along with this universe, which is fine too. Those Batman movies can be their own thing. I've heard that James Gunn has beef with the director of the Batman movies. I think his name is Matt Reeves. Yeah, I heard they got some beef, so he might be trying to undermine him a bit, which is not cool at all. But James Gunn is ultimately the one in charge, so he's gonna get the final say, I'm guessing. Yeah, let's keep going. And hold on, checking some other things over here. All right. Yeah, we get Superman's earthly dad right here, not Kal-El for sure, but just his earthly dad. And I love this next scene where he has his arm around him. Like you can feel the heart in that. And like his dad looks kind of sick, and he's there to take care of him. And I'm digging that. I'm digging that. It's shot so well. Like look at this, man. It's lit perfectly. It's there to give you the emotions that you feel. I like when movies solicit an emotion and then they have visuals and audio that relate to that emotion and help to bring out that emotion. So you see that and it makes you want to care about him, which is exactly what they should be doing. So yeah, kudos to them for that one. We get Clark Kent mode right here, which is cool. And he does look relatively different. At least a little bit different. Probably not enough different, but he does look at least a little bit different. And that's something that you're always looking for. We have, where's that little scene at right there? Yep, we have what I'm guessing I don't know if this is a Clark Kent moment with Lois Lane, or is this after she knows that he's Superman, but we see that there. I don't like all the lovey-dovey stuff. Like I got enough of that. I don't think that we need to see a ton of that. We know that they have a solid relationship, so I think that that's fine. I don't think that we need to see a ton of that. Yep, more lovey-dovey stuff. This scene in particular is one that I'm really, really, really wondering about. So you have Superman here and Lois, I believe, and there is some gigantic space monster in the background that looks like maybe one of the Green Lanterns is fighting or something like that. So what I need to know is, why is he just chilling? Why is he just hanging out? That doesn't make a ton of sense to me. And why are they, being, close and intimate in a situation like this where you got like a gigantic space alien in the background? I need that to be explained to me. I'm sure they do, and I'm sure that it'll make sense. But at least looking at it from the trailer, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why is that going on? Unless it's some sort of like dream sequence or something like that, which I doubt. We get the little kid right there that's sort of like praying to Superman. I don't like all that stuff, but yeah, I get it. You want somebody to come and rescue you and save you. We get this guy here. I don't know his name. And I don't know much about him. I like his makeup. I dig it. And it looks like Superman is fighting him later on. Yeah, where they're like flying away. I think this is the same guy. Or it's the melty face guy that we have right here, who I don't know who he is either. If you know, drop a comment. Let me know. Help me out. Yeah. And then we have a Green Lantern right here, which is cool. From what I hear, he's supposed to be like a very jerky Green Lantern. Not one of the cool, not definitely not Hal Jordan. But yeah, he's definitely not one of the cool Green Lanterns or a heroic Green Lantern. He's more of the cocky. I don't really care about this. I don't care about that. I don't care about you. I'm just here to get whatever I need to get done. One of those types of Green Lanterns, which we've had before, and it's cool that they have a bunch of them. I wonder if they're going to tie him into the Green Lantern series that's going to be coming on HBO Max. If you know that answer, drop it in the comments. More smoochy with Superman, which is like, all right, man. Like I've had enough. They like each other. They care about each other. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one, man. I enjoyed it. If I rate everything on a scale of 1 to 5. If I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it a solid 4. Solid 4 as far as trailers go. Like it was really good. It was good. It showed the tone, it showed the heart that the movie has, a little bit of comedy, and I'm hoping that they are able to continue that in a way that makes people want to keep watching and are involved in it, because there's nothing worse than a movie coming out and it has no buzz, it garners no reaction. I think there's definitely going to be reactions to this, and I'm hoping that they are going to be positive, because I would love to see DC continue to do well. So yeah, that is it for that one. Since I broke it down, I don't really feel like we need to watch any other videos breaking it down. I was gonna do a little bit of breakdown using this new Rockstars video, but I don't think we need to do that since we had a bunch of people, or since we broke it down pretty much anyway. Not necessary. So, but we don't have information like a video or anything like that of what was shown as far as Marvel Studios is concerned. So we can use a Screen Crush breakdown to go through that, and that can help us to understand what's happening with the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolts, and also we will cover a little bit of the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie and information that was released at CinemaCon. So let's get going with this, and we will react to this.
Down of new footage from Fantastic Four First Steps. You see, our very own Colton Ogburn was in the room for the Marvel Studios CinemaCon presentation, which included exclusive, never-before-seen footage from Fantastic Four First Steps, the Thunderbolts, and a special message from Kevin Feige from the set of Avengers Doomsday. So first, we're going to break down the Fantastic Four footage, which featured our first look at Shia LaBeouf's Silver Surfer. And we're going to talk about the confirmation that Sue Storm is indeed pregnant. And we're going to talk about the massive reveal that the Fantastic Four's universe has been chosen for death by Galactus. And this death of a universe storyline could have some major implications for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, and how the Fantastic Four, Galactus, and Doctor Doom are all connected.
Let's go.
And as always, check out our merch store with parody shirts that we designed for you guys, like Fantastic Four is the Thing in the style of John Carpenter's The Thing poster, the Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself, the Fraser Beast, and many more. Shopping our merch store makes it possible for us to do cool things.
Ooh, I'm
like
about to make a name for
Colton is eternally
myself.
trapped in down to Vegas for an exclusive event like CinemaCon.
That'll never get old.
Right? So the Fantastic Four trailer opens with the Fantastic Four being introduced on a talk show, giving us that same shot we've seen in previous trailers, mimicking this classic photo of the Beatles. I missed that Easter egg in our first breakdown, and it still bothers me. The host of the show talks about how we all know the story about the 4 astronauts who went into space and came back with superpowers, which I thought was a nice meta reference to the fact that we, as the audience, all know the story.
We've all seen it before. We all know what's going on.
His parents were killed in an alley, Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider, and his Uncle Ben was killed. And we know how Superman's planet was blown up and he was sent to Earth as a baby. And I'm really glad they took this approach with the movie, skipping the origin story. We've seen the DC do this with films like The Batman, as well as with James Gunn's new Superman movie. And we've seen Marvel do it with the MCU version of Spider-Man.
When whatever happened, it's like my senses have been dialed to 11.
So next, we get this line.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing when you gloss over some sort of common history that most people know about, but I think that you do need to provide some sort of background on how characters get their powers. I think that you can't take it for granted that, you know, you have a younger generation who's going to be getting into these movies. So if you got to gloss over it real quick, I understand that. If you have to talk about it, well, you need to talk about it to some degree. It doesn't have to be long, but like in this movie, like, you know, there was a space accident and they were hit with some sort of radiation that gave them powers. Like, boom, there you go. And then at least you have, like, if you have a kid who hasn't seen any of the other Fantastic Four movies, you have an adult even who hasn't seen that type of thing. And then from there, they'll at least understand, like, hey, okay, now I understand what's going on. Now I get why, you know, now I get what's happening. So I think that that's kind of essential and necessary, at least to some degree.
From Johnny Storm scolding Reed and Sue for being late to Sunday dinner. Remember from that earlier trailer, we heard Reed say,
"We make a point to do family dinner every week. Sunday at 7, on the dot, no matter what."
And the Fantastic Four Twitter account has been having fun with that by posting
a little cheesy, but I get it.
It's then confirmed that Sue is pregnant, almost certainly with Franklin Richards, a character who has a huge role to play in Secret Wars. And
yes, Franklin Richards is coming. A lot of people have speculated that they were trying to hide Sue being pregnant in the first trailer. And there were certain angles that you could look at her and she looked like she had a little bit of a baby bump. There was a scene that was shown later on where she had an even more noticeable baby bump. And I think that was definitely on purpose, that they didn't want to reveal that, at least initially. And then people talked about how the actual name of the movie is First Steps. And that's going to, that relates to Nathaniel Richards' sort of first steps. And that he's going to play a huge role in the Doctor Doom saga moving forward.
And a little later, I'm going to share with you guys a theory going around that John Malkovich is actually playing an older version of Franklin Richards from the future, a Franklin who has a connection to Galactus. And this confirmation of Sue being pregnant also makes this theory all the more likely. So anyways, Johnny congratulates his sister on the pregnancy, saying she'll be a great mom. And then he pokes fun at Reed by saying, on the other hand, he's going to have some work to do. Everything seems to be going super well in this universe, almost too well. And remember, this universe is separate from that of the mainline MCU. In this universe,
yep, definitely a different one. And everybody is speculating that this is the destruction of that universe too. So, and then, you know what, one thing that confuses me, and I don't know if it confuses you guys too, but, it confuses me when people use the term universe, because when I think of universe, I think of multiple planets. As opposed to world, I think of one singular world. So I don't know if that confuses you guys, but it always has confused me too.
Seem to be the most prominent heroes, maybe the only heroes, and it seems like this reality may be utopic and flourishing, similar to that of the Jetsons. All of that changes, however, when Shala Bell's Silver Surfer, portrayed by Julia Gardner, arrives. So,
great choice. Love her as an actress. Can't wait to see how she portrays this character. I think that it's a role where she's going to, as a Silver Surfer, you don't really show a ton of emotion. So I want to see if we're going to be able to connect to her as a character without her being able to verbalize and physically show those levels of emotion that you get with true human characters. So yeah, I think that you run the risk of having a character who nobody cares about because she, might say that her family was killed by Galactus, but if she just says that my family was killed by Galactus, nobody's going to care. Is she going to be able to show that emotion through all the makeup of being a Silver Surfer?
So this is a female version of the Silver Surfer, separate from that of the original Surfer, Norrin Radd. So no, it's not a gender swap, it's a completely separate character that is in the comics. So she, like Norrin Radd, is a Silver Surfer serving the planet Eater Galactus. Like Norrin Radd, she is from planet Zen-La. In fact, in the comics, these two were in love, and Norrin Radd offered his service to Galactus in order to save his world. So we can assume that the same is true of Shala Bell in this reality. She arrives on Earth and asks the Fantastic Four, "Are you the protectors of this world?" And then informs them that their world has been marked for death. Now, a little later, we're going to explain how that line may have bigger implications than just Galactus has decided to eat.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's going to be much, much, much bigger than what people are expecting.
But first, let's finish this breakdown. We see the shadow of Galactus looming over the city. The Silver Surfer says the Fantastic Four are in a race against time.
And for all those people that are concerned, Galactus can scale up and down in size, so don't think that that's going to be as big as he gets. I guarantee you that at some point he's going to be much, 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 much bigger. And I always wondered how Galactus could eat a world, and what is he standing on? Is he just floating in space? Maybe, but he has to definitely get way larger than what he is on there.
Time to save the world. A civilian asks Reed if they are going to be okay, to which Reed says he doesn't know. Reed is then at what looks like a press conference, and he assures the world that they, the Fantastic Four, will protect them. Oh, Colton, I am incredibly jealous of you.
Got a feeling that he's going to fail in that protecting. Definitely going to end up failing. I'm going to fast forward a little bit more. Oh yeah, they're going to talk about some Kang a little bit. Yeah, let's get to that part.
I have to kind of think, well, if it is the universe, why are they showing up on Earth? Earth would just be one of trillions of planets.
Exactly.
So,
exactly what I said.
I don't know. Maybe it is just Earth. Maybe Silver Surfer's going around to many celestial bodies, like various planets, letting them know, hey, you're done.
Well, Alioth is a really interesting thing to note, though, because in the comics, Galactus was just once a regular scientist named Galen who survived the death of his universe and then was reborn into the current universe. So, and then, for depending on the iteration in the comic, but his reasons for eating planets change, but basically he's there to maintain cosmic balance. It could be, Alioth also existed before the universes. We could also see a thing where maybe He Who Remains created Galactus as another failsafe, because we see in season 2 of Loki.
I really hate that we don't have Jonathan Majors. I would have loved to have seen where this was going before everything happened with him. I'm hoping that somehow, some way they're able to connect him back to this or continue with him at some point down the road. I know that that's pretty unlikely, but it would be really cool to see him continue on at some point in the MCU. I feel, I'm not going to talk about everything that happened with him personally, but just character wise, either that or recast Kang. I don't have a problem with that either. Like I said, I'm not connected to Jonathan Majors as a person. He's probably not the best type of person either, but as far as Kang is concerned, I think that you laid a lot of nice groundwork there, and you can go and move forward with the groundwork that has been laid and continue to expand on that story. Like I was telling a friend the other day that I feel as though Kang is the perfect villain for the Young Avengers as they continue to come up. I would have done a lot of things earlier in that Quantumania movie to sort of set that up. Like maybe have Scott Lang be killed by Kang. I think that would have gave Cassie a really good reason to want to become part of the Avengers or the Young Avengers and take on Kang. And then from there, you'd be able to rally the rest of the group together to sort of fight on that one sort of common goal. So yeah, I really think, I don't know if you can necessarily retcon that now and go back now and somehow have that make meaning, but you really need to give some sort of meaning to Kang. I think that the groundwork that you laid should not just go to waste. It shouldn't just disappear now. We need to get something out of that. A lot of us spend a lot of time watching Loki. We spend a lot of time watching Quantumania, which is not a very good movie. So they need to pay us back for that.
Loki, all these different fail-safes he created to make sure the timelines didn't go out of control and branch too much. Or he could be
if you're watching right now, please hit that like button. We got to get these likes up, man.
Kind of Galactus's purpose is to keep balance, because that would tie in perfectly to this idea of what they set up in Loki with, there has to be balance. It's kind of like a tree of life. Things have to die for new things to be born. I do like the idea of, yes, of course, Galactus is an iconic villain, but I like the idea of him really just kind of being a cog in a machine doing his part of nature, which is consuming planets, maybe even various worlds, or assisting in the collapse of that. I didn't go too deep into detail. Like, when they're showing the story like unfolding in the trailer and Silver Surfer has come and warned them that Galactus is coming, there's a brief shot between that and when Reed is like saying, "We will save the world." You see, they show that shot of him at his chalkboard trying to like solve this equation.
Yeah, man, Mr. Fantastic is a character who I don't really care much about his powers. I think the main part of just about any superhero that I like is their power set. Like, do I like his power set or her power set? And if it isn't a power set that I like, it's usually a uphill climb to make me like or care about that character. But with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, I care more about his intelligence and his leadership than his goofy powers of being able to stretch. Like that's always been one that doesn't really translate well to the screen. It doesn't translate well in thinking. Like, I mean, just because you can stretch, you can't really do too much more than that. I hope they give him some awesome sort of fighting moments that, will open my eyes to how cool he can be as a fighter. But yeah, otherwise his genius level intellect is what I and pretty much everybody else really care about as far as Reed Richards is concerned. And I hope that he's an adequate leader for the Avengers too, because I believe that he's going to take on that sort of role in Doomsday and also in Secret Wars as we move forward.
So yeah, that once again,
I'm gonna fast forward through this a little bit more.
He's trying to figure out how to stop it.
Yeah, and the same storyline. I believe it was the same one. Hickman also.
The Wakandans, the Avengers, and then he said, quote, "The original X-Men will be teaming up together to fight Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom." So
yeah, and that part, and he was just going over right there what Kevin Feige said, and I think that is a little bit of a revelation, because I kind of assumed that, or at least maybe it's true and maybe it's still going to happen, but I kind of assumed that he was going to it was going to be sort of the Avengers that we know versus the X-Men and another group of Avengers as well. So I am kind of surprised that it's going to turn into sort of these groups all fighting against Doctor Doom. Now, I think that there is going to be some discord amongst the group early on, which is going to cause them to fight. And then eventually they're going to find some sort of common ground and begin trying to fight Doom, and inevitably lose, because there's no way that Doom or that our group of heroes is going to come out victorious in this movie. I've said this multiple times before. I would really like to see there be a Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2. I want a detailed story. I don't want this to be sped up so fast and only through 2 movies. I feel like that's just really quick. I don't know if we've had the buildup that we need in order to tell the story that we all want to see. I think that we need to have Doomsday be a movie, and then I think we need to have a Part 1 of Secret Wars and a Part 2 of Secret Wars, because that I would love to see Part 1 of Secret Wars take place on Battle World. Like, that would be awesome. Or the Void, whichever one they're gonna go with. I know Battle World sounds kind of goofy. I've always thought that, but if they replace Battle World with the Void and do the same sort of things with it, I would love to see a whole movie that took place on Battle World and all the different areas and sections. And then you could delay having the second part of Secret Wars come out for maybe a year and a half, something like that. And then during that time, you can also make maybe 1 to 3, I would say probably 2 to 3 Disney Plus series that also take place on Battle World. Like, how awesome would that be to see these sort of one-off stories that take place there? Like, you could do a full-on Marvel Zombies style series with some heroes going against the zombie Avengers, and all of that could be like taking place on Battle World. Like, that would be awesome. It doesn't have to be super detailed. You don't have to do anything with building up crazy lore or anything like that, because these would be known and understood as sort of one-offs, because they take place on Battle World. Everything that happens on Battle World is going to be sort of erased at the end of Secret Wars anyway. So you could tell some awesome stories. I think that would be the plan that I would go with. Also, it would give the folks at Marvel some time to polish everything a little bit more. I feel like we're so rushed. Like, Doomsday comes out a little more than a year from now, like a year and 3 months from now. Like, that is crazy to me. I feel like you can't even get all the VFX and stuff right. They don't even have the script finished. And this movie is going to come out a month or a year and 3 months from now. Like, that's scary to me. To me, that would be scary for those guys too. But, maybe they've done that before. I know in the past they have done it before, and they've started filming movies without having the script completed and finalized. Like, that sounds like crazy work to me, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, so I think we've talked enough about that. Let's go to the Thunderbolts part a little bit and see what they have to say about that. And the reason that I'm using this, like I said, is that we don't get to see the actual trailers that are shown at CinemaCon. So we have to use secondhand accounts on what happened. So that's why I'm using this awesome video done by Screen Crush.
I think people are jazzed about there being finally an MCU team-up movie. What did you get to see Thunderbolts-wise, apart from the entire cast in the flesh?
Before he gets going, I am super excited about Thunderbolts. I really hope that it's good. I need something that's good. I need something that makes me leave the theater very satisfied. I saw Captain America Brave New World, and I thought that it was a solid movie. I was a lot higher on it than most other folks. Like, a lot higher on it, and I thought it was a solid movie. It definitely had its flaws, but I thought it was a solid movie. But I am expecting Thunderbolts to be leaps and bounds better, and I really don't want Marvel to let me and everyone else down on that.
Dude, I'll say, when Thunderbolts was first announced, I personally was like, who cares? Why are they making this movie? I felt like it was just another project that Marvel was just churning out. I was like, we've got all these like side characters. They all have the same ability pretty much. What are we doing? But man, with every trailer, especially the exclusive sneak peek they showed at CinemaCon, I am so excited for this movie. It is funny. It's gritty. It feels like Suicide Squad. It feels like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Again, it has that heart. Just like we were talking about with the Superman trailer, it has that heart. And you can see that through the trailers and the sneak peeks that we've seen already. I just hope that they're not playing that up for those trailers, sort of advertising for it. And I'm really hoping that they are able to continue with that sort of level of heart throughout the movie. I think that's the one thing that's missing with a lot of the superhero genre right now, period, is that, you know, we don't have a lot of stuff with heart. We don't have characters that we really care about. And I'm hoping that this movie helps to build some characters that we do care about, so that when they are inevitably removed from the scene in Secret Wars, we're able to we'll feel bad about them leaving, as opposed to just being like, meh, whatever. We'll feel bad about it. So I think that's what you want. That's what you want. Doomsday needs to be a downer. I've said it all along. Doomsday needs to be a movie that is very tough to watch and makes us see a lot of characters who we care about be taken off the board. So if Thunderbolts is able to build that up and to eventually have it taken away in Doomsday, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Like, see, that's really what they're doing with this. We got to see them like fighting together. My wife was there with me at CinemaCon and was very disappointed that Sebastian Stan didn't come on stage, but everyone else was there except Winter Soldier, and of course Taskmaster wasn't there.
Sebastian Stan is too big for Marvel these days, getting Academy Award nominations and stuff. Taskmaster is donezo. She is gonna get taken out. Yeah, Sentry is gonna rip her apart. We all know it. We all know it.
For all the Taskmaster fans who are on the edge of their seat right now, who cannot wait to see their favorite character appear in this movie
And get destroyed. And get destroyed.
I think it must have just been too good that they didn't want to spoil it. They didn't show us anything. It must have just been too much.
I'll tell you one thing, man. They definitely wouldn't use Dreykov's daughter as like a throwaway line in the Avengers, and then Natasha's entire reason for joining S.H.I.E.L.D. just to have Dreykov's daughter die in one movie. So clearly, there's going to be some awesome Taskmaster stuff that we're just not allowed to see.
I can, however, I mean, it's not Taskmaster level, but I can share with you a little bit of what they showed. There was this
one funny thing. I think that they may be setting us all up for a huge swerve. Like we see Taskmaster isn't featured much at all in any of the information about the movie, the trailers that we've seen, the commercials that we've seen. Somehow what appears to be later on in the movie, there's always no Taskmaster there. So I'm wondering if they're setting us up for a big swerve and Taskmaster does make it, but another one of the characters that we aren't expecting dies. That would be cool. That would be cool, because everybody is expecting Taskmaster to bite the dust.
We're essentially seeing, in that footage that they showed us, the Thunderbolts show up at Avengers Tower, which is now owned by Val. They go up the elevator, and they are there to, it seems like they want to, and spoilers if you don't want to know anything about Thunderbolts, you know, going in.
Skip to the time code about Superman below.
Yeah, this is what happens in the scene. They are there. You learn that they were all tasked to kill one another, but they ended up teaming up instead, and they are there to essentially arrest the person who ordered the hit on all of them, which is Val. And we got this great scene where Bucky goes to reach for Val, like take her by the arm to take her in, and his hands start shaking.
Sentry.
And you can tell that it's Sentry, like off the back, preventing him from even being able to touch her. And she says,
Sentry with them in costume at this point?
He's not there, but she says, we're not alone. And it's heavily hinted that that's the moment where he's about to fly.
Yeah. Okay. The Sentry parts of this movie are what have me beyond excited. Like that's what has me going. I like him as a character. He is one of almost like a version of Marvel's Superman. I love that he has this other sort of alter ego side of him known as the Void. I think that's really cool too. So I can't wait to see it. He's a hero, and then he's going to turn into a villain. And I think by the end of the movie, he'll be back to being a hero. I just want to see what damage he's able to cause all the way up until he turns into a hero. I'm guessing, and it's interesting that he's named the Void, since we have a place that's also called the Void. And he also sort of like shadowizes people, like turns them into a shadow and they just disappear. So I'm guessing that he may be sending people to the Void. So if they're going to use Battle World, or they're going to use the Void as sort of a Battle World replacement, that might be kind of awesome. I could see how that could work. Because you're going to need some other people in Battle World outside of just all heroes and stuff that survived. So yeah, I think that's it. I think the rest of this is on the Superman footage, and we have already covered that. So yeah, I enjoyed everything that Marvel brought for CinemaCon. I think that it leaves me hopeful. I'm hoping that they are able to rebound, because we've been down bad for a little bit. I think we hit the highs of Endgame and enjoyed that for a very long time, but now we are sort of we're down bad. We need to pick me up, and hopefully Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four can do that for us. All right, let's move on to Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I am going to use a new Rockstars video to help me discuss this with you all. So if you are watching right now, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below, do all the things, hit all the buttons, because I would appreciate it. And it helps out the channel. If you like what you're hearing and you want to help the channel, that's the easiest way to do it. It's free, doesn't cost anything, only costs you about half a second of time and maybe about 3 brain cells at most. All right. So yeah, let's get into Spider-Man Brand New Day, which was announced at CinemaCon 2025. And we'll go over some of the theories about what this movie is going to be about through this new Rockstars video.
From Tom Holland initially being left out of the Avengers Doomsday cast announcement to new details from Sony at CinemaCon, I am going to break it all down for you. The official title for Spider-Man 4 is Spider-Man Brand New Day. On the surface, it's an appropriate title.
I like the new logo too. Like the new logo, like the colors.
For a Spider-Man story that follows Spider-Man No Way Home, a film that ended resetting reality with Doctor Strange's memory wipe spell, causing everyone in this universe to forget that Spider-Man is a kid named Peter Parker, and allowing Peter to reset his status quo from a Stark intern with overpowered tech to just a broke dude in a shoddy apartment with a DIY
broke
suit,
dude
listening to police scanners and whipping around Manhattan. And using the word day in the title also links Brand New Day to Avengers Doomsday. But how connected will these two films be? Readers,
hopefully a lot. I'm hoping that the connections are going to be deep between those movies. And I know that when it's Spider-Man Brand New Day is the only movie currently that's scheduled to appear between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So I'm hoping that we get something that is going to be a good transition from Doomsday into Secret Wars, and that it's not a movie that's just completely unrelated to it. I don't think that they could do that. You never know these days with Marvel, but I don't think that they're going to do that.
Comics will also know that Brand New Day is the title of a 2008 storyline by Dan Slott, Mark Guggenheim, Bob Gale, and Zeb Wells, directly following the 2007 storyline One More Day by J. Michael Straczynski and Joe Quesada. In One More Day, Peter Parker is dealing with the fallout of unmasking himself during the events of the Civil War comic event.
Okay, you can see a little bit of relation.
Peter and an assassin's bullet ended up hitting Aunt May. So now, seeking to help Aunt May, Peter turns to a little girl who turns out to be a disguise of, Mephisto, who offers to fulfill Peter's wish to warp reality.
Okay, so we know that Sadie Sink is going to be in this movie. It would be interesting. If Sadie Sink sort of plays sort of an aged up version of the little girl, or someone who is who Spider-Man befriends, and then she actually turns out to be Mephisto. That would be dope. That's literally something that I thought about right now. Did not think about this beforehand at all. So yeah, haven't seen this video either, so I'm reacting to it live just like you guys are.
And to make his identity a secret once more, but at the price of Peter and Mary Jane's relationship. Peter agrees, reality warps, Aunt May is alive again, but Peter and MJ's relationship is gone. And we find out that the little girl is actually the daughter that Peter and Mary Jane would have had. And that brings us to Brand New Day, referring to the issue starting at The Amazing Spider-Man 546.
That would be twisted, though. That would be twisted.
102 issues through 2010, and it refers to the general period after One More Day. Peter and MJ are no longer married, and his history has been altered so that the two were in a long-term relationship, but things ended on frosty terms. Some people, the general public, vaguely remember Spider-Man unmasking himself during Civil War, but they do not remember the face underneath the mask. This period introduces a few new characters like Carly Cooper, a forensics expert, and her friend Lily Hollister, who's Harry Osborn's girlfriend. There's also the superhero Jackpot, originally Sarah Arrett, but the moniker is taken over by Alana Jobson. This is also generally the time in Spider-Man comics in which Mr. Negative, Martin Lee, has been making a name for himself. The Brand New Day period.
I would love to see a real screen version, a movie screen version of Mr. Negative, man. I think that he's a really cool character. I enjoyed him in the Spider-Man games. So yeah, I'm hoping that they do that. I'm hoping that they do that.
And big time. And Joe Quesada's sequel to One More Day called One Moment in Time. One Moment in Time refers to the Amazing Spider-Man 638 to 641 in 2010. Since One More Day was abbreviated as OMD, Quesada said that One Moment in Time could be called OMIT or OMIT as a reference to OMD omitting Peter and MJ's marriage from history. Since OMD was considered by fans to be a controversial retcon, OMIT was Quesada's attempt to fix things. We learned that Mary Jane was actually aware of Mephisto's deal with Peter and agreed to it on the condition that Mephisto would leave Peter alone forever afterward. The day of MJ
Interesting.
is revisited as Aunt May's
I love this context that this video provides. Man, yeah, New Rockstars is honestly my favorite. My favorite channel. They got enough subscribers, so I need to get a few of theirs though. They got 4.2 million. I don't think I've hit I don't think we've hit 360 yet. Hopefully we have after today.
Evidence of the connection, they would just fail to connect those dots. Mary Jane still decides, though, not to stay with Peter because she believes it's only a matter of time before he would be unmasked and her family would be in danger again. So this ends with Peter alone on the rooftop, realizing that the best person he's ever known set him free and that he can face anything in life. And today feels like a brand new day. So you can see how some of these storylines might be in Sony's mind by naming this fourth Spider-Man film Brand New Day, especially when it directly follows a similar memory wipe spell by Doctor Strange in No Way Home. It'll be a brand new day in the way that the period after One More Day was, with hopefully less of the backlash that One More Day had. Using day in the title also suggests that the next 3 films could incorporate day in their titles, the way that the previous trilogy used the word home. Tom Holland appeared during the CinemaCon panel to say that Spider-Man Brand New Day would be, quote, a fresh start. That's all he said. And director Destin Daniel Cretton also told the crowd that the 4th movie would feature a new suit for Spider-Man. This 4th Spider-Man film is releasing on July 31st, 2026, nearly 3 months after Avengers Doomsday. Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton is directing this.
Like I've said before, I feel like this timetable that they are using for Marvel movie releases is like, dude, it's ambitious. It's very ambitious. I don't know how they're going to get all this stuff done, especially with that movie coming out you know, just 3 months after Doomsday, and that's next year too. Like, dude, next year is going to be a heck of a year if they stick to this schedule. I don't think they're going to stick to it though. I think that they are going to make it to Comic-Con later on this summer and then announce that there's going to be a bit of a delay. I think they're going to delay it, and then they're also going to add an extra movie to Secret Wars. That is my prediction. You heard it here first. So if it actually happens, you heard it here first.
MCU Spider-Man movie. He was previously attached to Avengers 5 when it was still known as Avengers the Kang Dynasty. Tom Holland revealed that the script for this movie was still in development in interviews in the past year, and that he and his girlfriend Zendaya read the script.
If you're just tuning in right now, welcome. My name is JD. We are reacting to some CinemaCon news, and right now we're talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Young Jean
So please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, man. I need some subs.
I made a strong case that Sony might be
Need some subs. Y'all can help.
Scooper Daniel RPK posted an
Help a brother out.
rumor about a casting call for this fourth Spider-Man movie, describing Sadie Sink's role as, quote, a sharp and free-spirited woman with a mysterious past, strong-willed, intelligent, and not easily intimidated. This Scooper also claimed a female villain, 30s to 50s, any ethnicity, a powerful and imposing figure seeking an actress with strong and commanding screen presence. Also listed is a new male role, a resourceful young man in his early 20s, and a new male role, 30s to 50s, any ethnicity, a no-nonsense authority figure who sees the world in black and white, loyal, determined, and willing to cross lines to maintain order. So Sadie
Sounds like Harry Osborn, or Norman Osborn, I should say.
could be one of those women from the Brand New Day comic period. Carly Cooper, Lily Hollister, Jackpot. The early 20s male could be Harry Osborn. The 30s to 50s male role who sees the world in black and white could be Mr. Negative.
Ooh,
or the
that would be
Bugle
cool.
of the Daily Bugle during this period, Dexter Bennett, or the NYPD detective Vin Gonzalez, who hates Spider-Man. For what it's
Or
worth,
Norman
Venom:
Osborn.
The Last Dance repeatedly showed some mystery figure who was spying on Eddie Brock's movements without ever explaining who that guy was, and I always wondered if the plan was to introduce this character as Mr. Negative. I just know that Sony wants to get this guy in a movie somewhere. A reminder that Spider-Man No Way Home ended with Peter's multiversal counterparts, played by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, returning to their home universes, along with Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, Jamie Foxx's Electro, Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman, and Reese Ifans the Lizard. Also, Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock Venom, as we saw in a post-credit scene that was actually picked back up in Venom.
That was a whack post-credit scene.
Subject, Venom 3 included a very weird detail of showing the Mexican resort town in the 616 universe as a vibrant metropolis filled with high-rises, but when Eddie and Venom transported back to the universe of the Venom films, which was established in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as Earth 688, that universe's Mexican resort town was smaller and less developed. Why make them different at all? To this day, I have no idea why Sony made them different and included this detail. But
Sony doesn't know why they made them different either. No matter what they say, they don't know what happened either.
Spider-Man movies are made in collaboration with Marvel Studios. They do, at the end of the day, remain Sony productions that Sony equally wants to use to boost their own cinematic brand, which is the number one.
I'm hoping, and there have been some rumors about it as well, that eventually Sony is going to sell the rights to Spider-Man and all of his gallery of villains to Marvel. I really hope that they do that so that Marvel can have complete control. I don't trust anything that Sony has put out. The Venom movies have been decent at best, and I really want to see. I want to see some. I want to see them in the right hands. I want to see those characters used correctly. I think that Marvel can do that. I think that Marvel is on a path right now that has not been the best. So I think that people might not have as much faith in Marvel to be able to pull off having those characters. But I know that I have a whole lot more faith in Marvel than I do in Sony. So there's no way that I want Sony to be in charge or handling those Spider-Man characters. Yeah, I really hope that they're able to sell them off to Marvel or bring them back to Marvel, like where they belong at some point relatively soon.
Detail that I'll come back to later in this video. Also, while promoting the Paramount Plus Mobland series, Tom Hardy told the Discourse podcast that there were conversations about a Venom crossover with Tom Holland's Peter Parker, but that the studio politics got in the way. Hardy said, quote, "We got close. We got as close as I could possibly imagine getting, apart from doing a film together, which I would have loved to have done because it just means so much fun." And for all the reasons that.
And I mean, like you can do that, but you need to have the right setup. You need to have Marvel and Sony completely aligned. And as they were saying in the video, it doesn't seem as though they're aligned. I think that they share ideas and they have a broad idea of the way things are supposed to go over at Sony. And I think that they don't necessarily share the same route to get to the end points. So I think they all and both agree on where things are going to end and how the movies should set up everything that's going on in the MCU. But I think that they differ on how to get to those points, and that difference is what causes the disconnect and what probably gives Marvel hesitation to fully commit to having Spider-Man be a part of what they are doing in the MCU. Also, if they make them fully apart, that's just going to make Sony not want to sell Spider-Man back to Marvel, because why would you sell them if you're getting exactly everything that you want anyway?
You explain ultimately in there, referring to the studio politics ultimately negating this possibility. If you have any, to make the universe forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Not to forget that Spider-Man existed, but that the identity of the person under the mask they knew as Spider-Man was someone named Peter Parker. So now Peter could go back to being an anonymous vigilante in New York City with a new suit, a new apartment in Manhattan, and now in Daredevil Born Again, the mayor of New York, Wilson Fisk, is referencing him in speeches targeting vigilantes.
Now that's the connection that I want to see made. We have to have Kingpin be a major part of what's going on with Spider-Man. He's always been one of Spider-Man's biggest villains. And I think that, okay, I'm going to give my breakdown real quick on what I would like to see happen. I think that you need to have a grounded MCU sort of section of the MCU that, you know, probably centers around New York. But you can have that sort of section be led by Spider-Man and Daredevil and the Defenders, who are all battling against Wilson Fisk and whoever else is able to align with him. I think that would be cool. Then on top of that, you can also have Dr. Doom battle all of the regular Avengers who are left over, like all the normal Avengers. Whoever is there after Doomsday, Doom can continue to take them on. Then I think you need to bring back the character of Kang. It does not have to be Jonathan Majors, but you need to bring back the character of Kang and have Kang be an adversary for the Young Avengers or the Champions, whichever one you want to call them, whichever one that Marvel wants to go with. I think that would be awesome. You have to do a lot of building up of the Young Avengers and also give them a reason to dislike Kang and not want to take him on. I think they could have done that in Quantumanium by having Kang kill Ant-Man. That would have gave Cassie Lang all the reason in the world to despise him and would have made her really want to be a part of the Young Avengers, and then they can continue to take on Kang. I think that you should divide the MCU into three by those three villains: Kang, Dr. Doom, and also Kingpin. And then you have these three groups of heroes that are taking on to fight those guys. I think that would have made this amazing. And you know, if you guys want more information, just hit me up, drop a comment. If you like my idea, drop a comment too. Let me know what you think. If you think my idea is trash, let me know it's trash. That's fine too. I appreciate those comments as well. I am going to fast forward through this a little bit so we can get to the end.
Manhattan long enough for an interesting movie to take place before that universe would be destroyed by an
Oh, actually, I'm going to go back a little bit. They're doing different scenarios on how he would show up. So I really want to see this part.
To form Dr. Doom's battle world. So it's difficult for some to imagine how Spider-Man 4 could be set in New York after Doomsday, if Doomsday is going to wreck the world that New York is on. And it's also just kind of hard to imagine how Peter Parker could be left out of Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday is set to release on May 1st, 2026. Spider-Man 4 is set to release after Doomsday on July 31st, 2026. So this would suggest one of four scenarios. Scenario 1, Peter is not in Doomsday. Like Spider-Man 4 could retain the option to be a street-level story unaffected by the events of the multiverse. And then maybe after the events of Spider-Man 4, Peter could rejoin the other Marvel heroes when everyone gets taken.
I don't think this scenario is going to play out.
Scenario 2, Spider-Man 4 could be set before Doomsday. We could get an Avengers Doomsday.
I don't like this one.
Parker, and then 3 months later, a Spider-Man 4 that takes place before and/or.
I don't like going backwards like that. Nope.
Marvel Studios did a similar thing with Ant-Man and the Wasp in 2018. Avengers Infinity War came out in May 2018, and then in July 2018, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I don't like that.
Story set in San Francisco. The main events set 1 month before Thanos' snap, and then in the post-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, then we caught up Scott Lang and the Ant family to the exact moment of the snap. Spider-Man 4 could do something similar, like Peter would not be in Doomsday in his own storyline for Spider-Man 4, and then a post-credit scene where he meets Doctor Doom or sees the 616 universe experiencing some destructive incursion in the sky. Scenario 3, Peter Parker could cameo in Doomsday, but then leave the movie. Like, we could get a scenario where Tom Holland, Peter Parker, still appears in Avengers Doomsday, but only in like a first act conflict, and then the film could move on from Peter and maybe even move on to someplace else other than the Manhattan of the 616 universe, leaving that setting and that whole universe.
I like this idea the best.
Peter's storyline in Spider-Man 4. Like in this scenario, Avengers Doomsday would feature some kind of plot structure where Peter Parker is left in the MCU Manhattan long enough for an interesting movie to take place before that universe would be destroyed by an incursion. Like structurally, imagine the screen time the Guardians of the Galaxy got in Thor: Love and Thunder, and then they
Yeah, I think that Peter Parker doesn't necessarily have to appear in Doomsday, but I feel that Doom has to appear in Brand New Day. Has to.
left the movie. Or imagine Avengers Infinity War if Peter Parker helped Tony Stark and Bruce Banner and Wong and Doctor Strange, but then stayed in New York when Tony and Strange left Earth on Ebony Maw's Q ship. Less exciting Avengers Doomsday because Spider-Man would only be like in the first part of it, but it is one way this could work. But then we have scenario 4. Spider-Man 4 could take place outside of the 616 universe, somewhere in the multiverse or in Battleworld. I mean, this is the multiverse saga, folks. A saga that will not end until Secret Wars concludes. So it's just possible that Avengers Doomsday could feature the Doomsday we expect, and the 616 Earth would be destroyed by an incursion, and then 3 months later, we see a Spider-Man 4 story that is set someplace that is not that.
I like 3 the most as far as his scenarios go, but 4 makes the most sense as far as what they would actually do. I think it's sort of playing like this.
It could be a parallel universe.
And maybe somehow he's in Battleworld and doesn't know it. And just thinks that it's regular New York City, but at some point in time, it was all shifted to Battleworld and he doesn't know it.
The Spider-Verse, or it could be a version of Manhattan that is in Battleworld.
Because that is one thing, and I just made a fact. That is one thing that I was thinking too, is that in Battleworld in the comics, people did not know that there was any sort of other world that existed before Battleworld. Like they just thought that this is the world. This is what we know. This is all we know. This is all we've ever seen. They don't know anything about anything that happened before, which is why they call it Secret Wars. The Secret Wars isn't because the war is going on in secret. It's Secret Wars because nobody knows the secret that there were other things that happened before Battleworld was created.
World. Believe me, folks, read Jonathan Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars event. Manhattan is a setting within Battleworld, and it's a very, very cool and interesting version.
This is the way they're going to go.
Really like multiple flavors of Manhattan that exist on that continent. Really, a potentially important piece of required reading is the Spider Island storyline. So in the 2011 Spider Island storyline, Jackal, Miles Warren, whom Peter had faced in the Clone Saga events, creates a viral serum that gives hundreds of people around New York Spider-Man-like powers. This includes Peter's new girlfriend, Carly Cooper. Now, the Jackal had orchestrated this with the Spider Queen, Adriana or Anna Soria, and things get kind of crazy. The story involves Venom, Flash Thompson, and Anti-Venom, Eddie Brock, as well as Reed Richards and Doc Ock, Mary Jane, and Spider-Clone Kane. It's one of the coolest Spider-Man stories. And remember what I said earlier about Sony loving to use these MCU Spider-Man movies to connect to their own cinematic brand? Well, in 2024, it's Kraven. Yes, Kraven, the movie. This movie did set up Miles Warren, aka Jackal, as the source of the treatment that made Alexei the Rhino.
I found someone in New York, a biochemist.
I gotta say, I haven't seen Kraven.
Procedure to increase strength tenfold. I signed up on the spot.
I feel bad for saying it. Haven't seen it.
Warren was a doctor who turned Sergei's brother, Dmitri, into the chameleon shapeshifter, the form he takes in the final scene on London's Millennium Bridge.
I found a doctor in New York. A little unorthodox, I must admit. But he really helped me. I mean, changed me.
And I mentioned the Spider Island storyline because Spider Island returns as a location in the Secret Wars Warzone storyline, which was a 5-issue 2016 series that explored this part of Battleworld. In
Interesting.
Battleworld, the Spider Queen was victorious from the 2011 Spider Island storyline.
Maybe you have regular New York City or Manhattan turn into Spider Island.
Version of themselves. There's like a Spider Captain Marvel. There's a Spider Hulk with 8 huge arms. There's a spider Captain America. We find our way into the story through the eyes of Agent Venom, and he teams up with Vision and Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. It's just one of many crazy settings in Battleworld. And you know what? I would be surprised if this fourth Spider-Man movie adapts this directly from the pages of the comics to the screens. But I just bring it up as an example.
There's some elements though.
Have a version of New York City that's still contained within the broader continent of Battleworld. And if we are trying to reconcile the Daniel RPK rumors, the female villain, aged 30 to 50, could be that Spider Queen, and Sadie Sink's role could actually be MJ from another universe, or maybe even Carly Cooper. I personally still want Spider-Man 4 to be a street-level story that connects Peter to Mayor Fisk and Daredevil Matt Murdock.
Me too. Me too.
Sized role for Peter Parker in Avengers Doomsday that would allow that to happen. But I think a lot of fans might just misunderstand Secret Wars, what the multiverse means, and the scale of how Battleworld will look on a cinema screen.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that too. I think that they need to give some sort of explainer before we jump into Brand New Day and Doomsday. We're gonna have to have some sort of context on all of this stuff, because it's tough to know and understand exactly how they're going to go about making all of this fit and making all of this work. Because from what it seems like to me, I don't quite understand it. I can't say that I see it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I really hope that they are able to give us some sort of coherent enough story to make it make sense. And it makes me nervous that they're not going to be able to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for everything that Brand New Day could be. I'm really hoping that it's going to be relevant and make sense as far as the larger MCU is concerned. And that's my biggest concern, I guess, is that it's going to come out and it's not going to make any sense. I think it's difficult for them to make it not make sense. I'm sure they have some sort of way. I just want them to reveal it to us now. I'm being a little impatient about that. So I'm hoping that they give us what we want early on, as opposed to just letting us sort of linger as we currently are. But yeah, so there's our coverage on Spider-Man Brand New Day. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, let's now go to some more stuff. Now we can do a reaction to the new trailer that just dropped on today, Saturday, April 5th, for Tron Ares. I don't know anything about the Tron movies other than what I've seen in the very first one that came out many moons ago. I didn't even see the original remake that they did of it. But I really enjoyed the one that came out back in the day, only because like it was cool. The visuals I felt were cutting edge at the time. Especially for a movie that came out in the 80s. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. I did not see the most recent remake, but I am hopeful that this version that they're releasing now, I think they said that Jared Leto is in it. So I'm kind of hopeful that this one is actually good. So we'll see. We're going to watch the trailer live and react to it live. So if you have a reaction to, drop it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about it. So like current world, okay. Oh wow.
I'm looking for something. Something I do not understand.
Oh, it's coming out this year. All right. Ships. Getting some cyberpunk vibes by this too. I like it. Oh. Okay.
Ready? Because there's no going back.
So Jared Leto is playing the hero, I'm guessing. All right, so October 10th, 2025. All right. Yeah, looks solid. I mean, it doesn't give us much as far as plot is concerned. I'm just gonna run through it real quick. That was the first shocker to me, is that it takes place in what looks to be current time or maybe very near future. So it looks like as we go along, we have the light cycles here, which are from some sort of different planet. I'm guessing that's where the alien world and those red alien ships come from. And we get to see the light streams come out the back, and we see how they're able to cut through the vehicle. So that's a cool way of combining like the way the old Tron movie looked, and how those light cycles were able to produce those beams of light, that if someone crashed into it, it was like a wall and they would, die. So I think this is a cool way of doing and showing that in a real world aesthetic. Yeah, it cuts through the vehicle. Yeah, more real world stuff. Got an officer here seeing the alien ship arrive. More pictures or views of the alien ship. This looks like the alien ship producing more vehicles and people to go and fight. Like, we see the planes in this. I know at least in the 80s version, we did not have like air vehicles in that one. So that's pretty cool to see. And all we get in this, well, I'll talk about that at the end. Most of this is probably, I'm guessing, from the first act when they first show up. I wonder what happens to this lady to get her dissolved. It's always interesting to see like the death effects that they put on in situations like this. We got a missile shot by a regular plane, and those are taken out by the lights, so they can't even get close to the actual alien ship. Yeah, this all has to be like first act stuff, which I'm happy with. I'm glad that it's just the first act. I'm guessing right here we see Jared Leto's hero being born, or maybe he's the villain. I don't know. See some more action going on from what is, I would presume, is the first act. Like I said, yeah. Then we got the title card. So yeah, I don't dislike it. Jared Leto is making his same faces that he makes in every movie. I'm hoping that the writing is good on this, because there's going to have to be some solid explainers. You can't just leave this sort of hanging and not give adequate background to what's going on. One other interesting note that I noticed is that we don't have any of the blue team. No blue light cycles in this. This trailer is very red. Red is usually the enemy team, and we had the blue team, which was more of the hero team. So it's interesting to see that they haven't shown them at all. If Jared Leto stays on Team Red, that means he is not a good guy. So I'm kind of shocked by that. I was expecting him to be a good guy, unless he goes from being a bad guy to eventually being a good guy, which wouldn't shock me. It is crazy that they haven't shown any of the blue team on this as of yet. But yeah, solid trailer. It's a little bit of a teaser. Don't really know much about the movie or what the premise is going to be, but I'm sure they'll give us more of that in the next trailer that comes out. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for hanging out and watching that trailer. If you liked it or if you dislike it, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. All right, so we've done that. Okay, getting into more CinemaCon news, we had some information leak out about the first look for the Masters of the Universe movie, better known as He-Man movie. The original He-Man cartoon was one of my favorites when I was younger. Like, oh my God, so good. So good. And I mean, watching it now, it is horribly cheesy, but at the time, like, it was great. It was great. It was everything that I needed it to be at that point in time. Being a little kid and seeing how um uh Adam was able to be like a regular person and then also turn into He-Man. Like, when Adam was like just his regular human self, he was all meek and humble, and then he turned into this, super powered He-Man. I used to think that I was, I'm pretty meek, I'm pretty humble, as a little kid, and that all I needed was a sword, so then I would be able to turn into He-Man myself. My mom and dad went out and got me one of the swords, and lo and behold, I did not turn into He-Man. I was just same old me. But yeah, I love the show. Really enjoyed the show when I was younger. And then you had the movie that came out later on in the 80s, the live action movie that came out. And I felt that it was like, it was a little shady. It wasn't very well thought out, in my opinion. I always wanted it to be more. I, even at a young age, like, I had to be like, 8 to 10 years old when that movie came out. I don't even know if I was that old, probably like 7 to 8 years old when that movie came out. And I remember watching it and thinking that it was like, oh, like, this isn't what I wanted it to be. Like, it was kind of weird. It had like bad animatronics in it. Like, people were dressed as like puppets. It didn't look good. You had Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, which was a good casting, but the writing was horrible. So I'm hoping that whatever we have moving forward is going to be better than that version of it. You also had a cartoon that came out for He-Man on Netflix a few years ago that was solid too. I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch some of it, and it was pretty good. So yeah, we have a Collider article here that was covering the Masters of the Universe first look images that or first look featurette that they had at CinemaCon 2025. So I'm just gonna go and read this a little bit and we can talk about it. Jared Leto stepped out of shadow. So Jared Leto doing a Tron movie, also doing this Masters of the Universe movie as well. So it says Jared Leto stepped out of the shadows tonight and into his latest role as the dastardly antagonist Skeletor. So yeah, I can see him playing Skeletor much more than I can see him playing a hero in the Tron movie. So I'm hoping maybe he's a villain in both. But yes, him as Skeletor, I could see that. For the live action version of Masters of the Universe, the sneak peek was part of Amazon MGM Studios presentation at CinemaCon. And we had Collider in attendance. It says that it comes out next year, June 5th, 2026. So it says Leto appeared in an all-black costume on his way to set in a behind-the-scenes featurette that showed off the making of the highly anticipated MGM or Amazon MGM film. Along with Leto, CinemaCon audiences also caught first looks at Nicholas Galitzine, He-Man, Camila Mendez's Tila, Idris Elba's Man-at-Arms. These names are horrible. I forgot how bad these names were. And Alison Brie's Evelyn. Like, Man-at-Arms and Evelyn have to be like some of the worst names for any sort of superhero character. And I know that it was the 80s, and I know it's from a cartoon. I know it's supposed to be cheesy, but come on, man. Like, Man-at-Arms? Evelyn? Like, come on, man. Not good. It says the featurette spotlighted the outrageous techno-barbarian costume designs of the film, as well as the training the cast are doing to get into Eternian shape. Unfortunately, the featurette is not being publicly released at this time, so you have to wait until Masters of the Universe release date gets nearer to feast your eyes on its cast of characters. So yeah, it didn't seem like they showed a lot, but it did. I'm sure that what they did show was able to, whet the appetites of the fans who are in the crowd. I really hope that they release this footage to us. You can wait another month or two and then eventually have this footage come out for us to be able to check out too. I think that if this movie is done properly, it will be successful. I think that they need to lean into the sort of outrageous aspects of it. Like, don't try to make it grounded. Don't try to make it, an adaptation that is based in earthly reality. I would love if they had him. I would love if this movie took place outside of Earth. From what I understand, it doesn't, and that they're going to have He-Man either be on Earth when the movie starts or come to Earth. I would have rather them just did the story in Eternia. Like, do the story there, and we don't have to then base everything on what we know and understand about our planet. Just have it be in this fantasy land, and have it work from there. I think the casting's solid. You got some good actors in there. I just hope that it doesn't come off as too cheesy. That's a very fine line that you need to ride when it comes to the cheesiness of this type of movie. Like they said, it's how did they word it? Fantastical barbarian. Oh yeah, outrageous techno barbarian. Yeah, techno barbarian. That's a phrase that I have not heard before. I'm sure everybody wants to know who Nicholas Galzatine is. I did not know who he was. I did look up his picture. So let me click on this and see if they have a picture of him, and some of the other things that he's been in. So Nicholas Galzatine. Let's see what else he's been in. So he's been in The Idea of You, Purple Hearts, Mary and George. Doesn't look like he's done very many sort of action movies or anything like that at this point. So interesting casting. I have not seen a lot of these movies. So I'm gonna have to rely on you guys. What do you think? Is he solid or not? I don't know. But yeah, if they do it well, they could pull it off. What do you think? Are you excited for this movie? Are you just like, whatever? Is it a meh? I don't know. I'm excited for it only because I was a super fan when I was younger. So I'm expecting this to at least be a solid, fun popcorn flick movie. If it's that, I'll be happy. It doesn't have to be, Avengers Endgame. It can be Guardians. Be Guardians level good. That's all I ask for. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. All right, so we've done that. We answered the universe. Now we have 2 more trailers that we're gonna watch, and react to. So we will now watch the Megan 2.0 trailer. Now, Megan is a movie that I am really excited for. This hits the correct notes. It does not take itself overly serious. It is funny. It's not really scary at all, but I love the concept behind it. It does have some horror elements in it, but it's not overly, it's not overly scary. I think it's not really a kid's movie or anything like that, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it once it came out on TV, and it was like perfect for that. It was absolutely perfect. I laughed. I was cheering on Megan at certain points in time. Everybody knows her iconic dance that she does. I hope we get a part 2 of the dance in the movie. We went to Universal Studios. We're not able to be there for Halloween Horror Nights, but they had a whole group of Megans dancing at Halloween Horror Nights, which is something that I would have loved to have seen. But yeah, we're going to watch the Megan 2.0 trailer and see what we think. Let's check it out.
I'll admit, there were some bugs in my programming. It's hardly fair to blame you.
See, like I said, it doesn't take itself serious. There's the dance.
But one thing hasn't changed. I will do whatever it takes.
I know they're gonna kill me on the copyright for this one.
What the hell is this? You put me in this plastic Teletubby?
Oh no. Give you an upgrade. Wow. Not what I was expecting.
Forrester, we have a problem. We're hunting an autonomous android named Amelia. She was built using your design for Megan.
Oh, 2 of them, huh?
You deleted it.
Apparently you didn't. Nothing in our arsenal can stop her. She's gone rogue.
Oh, okay.
Contributed to her creation.
I know how to stop Amelia.
Oh, we gotta give her back her body though.
Soon she'll be the most dangerous weapon on the planet. Put me in a body and I'll help you solve it.
Last time you threatened to rip out my tongue and put me in a wheelchair.
I was upset.
She wants to help us.
Everyone deserves a second chance.
You would like us to rebuild a deranged robot in order to catch another one.
Would you prefer I gave you a printout that you can read at your own pace?
Okay, Megan. Time to give you an upgrade. Anything you'd like to add?
Oh man.
Stronger, faster.
Now they're gonna upgrade her too.
Hey, so remember the time I strangled you and set the lab on fire? I want you to know that won't happen again.
Thank you so much.
And while you're at it, make me taller. All right, meat sacks. Let's get to work.
Well, look who came out to play.
I was programmed to protect you.
Wow.
The only question is, are you going to stand in my way? Hold on to your vaginas.
I don't care if she did kill 4 people. She is a smoking hot warrior princess.
I'll make you a deal. You can kill Gemma, but don't touch Katie.
Megan.
Wow. Wow. Okay. We're gonna run through that one real quick. But first thoughts are yes. Yes. Like it is exactly what you want the movie to continue to be. It's goofy, it's cheesy, it's not, it doesn't take itself seriously. And then in turn, when we watch it, we don't take it seriously. So you can sort of do all these crazy things like, you know, have Megan be taller this go around and them give her back her body. Like, yeah, some of this stuff in this movie is not going to make sense at all. And I think that when you see it, they'll even like wink at the camera and be like, yeah, you know, this doesn't make any sense, but hey, it's just a movie and we're trying to entertain you. So let's run through this real quick. First off, using the Boys to Men Hard to Say Goodbye was a crazy and funny choice. And we're looking at some of the old from the first movie. Like I said, I love the dance, the Megan dance. Like I can't do it. I've seen so many people go out and do it. I think that that's like one of the most awesome Halloween costumes is Megan. I've seen a lot of kids do it. I've seen adults go out and do it. So like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so we're recapping what happened in the first movie. Yeah, definitely Megan can't be trusted. So they ended up bringing her back, but putting her into this sort of like kids bot robot form, which is cool. That's awesome. I like that. I don't think in a regular movie or in a regular like real life scenario or situation, there would not be bringing her back. But of course, in this sort of movie, and these people are stupid, so in this sort of movie and situation and scenario, yeah, they're going to bring her back. Why not? We're going to keep her alive. If that was me, her programming would have been done. We would have burned everything. There would have been no recollection of anything. There's no way that she would be able to be brought back because it was not good. So we have another bot that is possible. So I guess this version, I don't remember the name that they gave.
Apparently you didn't.
But yeah, we have this other bot. What's her name?
Your design for Megan. She was built using
Amelia.
for Megan.
Yeah, so she is I guess the new Megan. I guess someone or somehow they were able to program and create this new bot. Theory. Here's a theory. This is what my guess is. At the very end of the movie, they're going to come to find out that Megan actually created Amelia as well. And that it was Megan behind having Amelia turn out to be who it was. Just so that they could eventually bring Megan back and Megan could be regain her normal form. So that's my guess. Just a theory. I love theory. Love theory crafting. So yeah, we got Amelia here saying that she's getting powerful. She's a crazy weapon. And then we have them coming to the conclusion that they need to bring Megan back. They need to bring Megan back to fight Amelia. Okay. All right. I'm with you. It makes no sense. I would never do that, but I'm with you. And then everyone deserves a second chance. Get out of here, kid. Get out of here. That thing tried to kill me. No thanks. There's some things and some people that might deserve a second chance, but this ain't one of them. And no way. So yeah, of course, Megan says, yeah, give me a new body and I'll take her on. They end up doing that. And then they give Megan upgrades. She can fight now. She's still creepy. They make her taller. The taller part is kind of weirding me out though. Like, I don't know if I like the taller part, because if she's like regular adult height and stuff now, that's like super creepy to me, because she still has like the little kid voice. But that's just me. A little odd. I think that the special effects are decent. I think that they need to be touched up a little bit, because she still looks super cartoony right here. It has that sort of uncanny valley quality about it, which is always weird. So yeah, we see like Megan taking on Amelia here. Megan breaking out her full on like superhero stuff, which is hilarious to me. She's like flying. Yeah, now she's back to being creepy, still trying to take out Amelia. I think that at some point in this movie though, it's going to be revealed that Megan was behind all of it, and that Megan, from here on out, when they do Megan 3.0 or Megan 3, whatever they want to call it, that she is going to be back to being the villain, and they are going to make her like really, really, really unstoppable. Like, the cool thing about this is that it's so fantastical, so like stupid, that you could really do almost anything with it, and people will be willing to go along with the ride as long as it makes a little bit of sense and it's entertaining. So yeah, I think this movie does that. It's the perfect popcorn flick. I'm glad that it comes out this year, and I will be there to see it. I don't know if I'll watch it in a theater, but I will watch it somehow relatively quickly. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Drop a comment below and let me know. All right, we got one more trailer to run through today as we continue to cover and wrap up all the covers that Watch Stuff With Us is providing for CinemaCon 2025, and we are going to end things with Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan, directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed the Black Panther movie for Marvel. I think either everyone or almost every movie that Ryan Coogler has done, Michael B. Jordan has been involved in it. So that's really cool to see that they are going to continue doing that. But yeah, let's get into this trailer. This is the second trailer that came out. The other one came out, I think, like 3 months ago. And I did not watch that one, and I'm excited to check this one out.
We've been gone a long time. We back now. You twins? Nah, we cousins.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Will somebody take me in your eyes?
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
Listen here, this ain't no house party. Shit. Y'all ready to drink? Y'all ready to sweat till y'all stink?
You want some?
You keep dancing with the devil.
Careful, boy. You're gonna bite off more than you can chew.
One day he's gonna follow you home.
We got us a problem now.
What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
This world already left you for dead.
I can save you from your fate.
You don't need no saving.
Yes, you do.
And you are? I am. Your way out.
Don't cry. These
I don't believe in magic. Ghosts, demons. Just power. Somebody please take me.
We gonna kill every last one of you.
I ain't mean to scare you. Thought y'all forgot about me in here. Come on, open the door, let me on out of here. Stay. That's you? Of course, it's me. Open the door.
That ain't your brother.
Love you.
Yo, it's my only thing. I think I shot myself.
All right. Solid trailer. I did not know that this movie was coming out so soon. I thought for whatever reason that it was going to be a summer movie, but yeah, this is coming up in a few weeks. So yeah, I might have to actually go see this one in theaters. I need to see the reviews first. I need to know if it's decent. I don't want to go out and waste my money. I need to see if it's decent first. But I like what I see. I like the angle that they're twins. You got them, Michael B. Jordan playing both of the characters in this one. I hope there's enough difference between them that you are able to see how good or see his range as an actor, because a lot of times you get characters that, okay, like you could be a twin and they're going to act exactly the same. I'm guessing that these guys are going to have totally different characteristics, which would be cool to see. Looks like they have some sort of like I want to say underground, but it's not underground, but some sort of club. Like, first off, this looks like it takes place in the looking at the attire, I would guess the 30s, 40s, or actually we saw cars, so yeah, I'm guessing 30s or 40s. Yeah, definitely it's not a 50s movie, it's 30s or 40s. That'd be my guess. But yeah, so definitely an era where they did not like people of color, so that definitely is going to play a role in this, knowing that it's a Ryan Coogler movie. He likes to play with the idea of race and how race works in America at different points in time. So yeah, this is definitely a genre or a time period, an era that he has not taken on before. So it's kind of cool to see, and I want to see how that's going to play into the movie, because you see Michael B. Jordan's character at one point is involved with Haley Steinfeld's character, and I'm sure that was not cool at that point in time in the movies or in the actual real world. It looks like they're operating some sort of like a speakeasy, some sort of like club, like I said, almost like an underground club, dancing, drinking, all that stuff. And you get Haley Steinfeld's character comes in, looks like she stumbles upon the place maybe, and then she's sort of swept up in the emotion of it, and sort of starts digging on Michael B. Jordan's character. All right, looks average here. Remember that I said that she looks average here. But yeah, we go a little bit further. Got some more people getting into it. And yeah, then we got some people who show up at the joint, and it looks like they're there to cause some problems. I don't know if they're vampires already, but my guess is they are, and they somehow heard that there was something going on, and they were there to get their eat on. And we see Haley Steinfeld here with the character. We see morning there, so at least some of them were able to survive the morning. I think the practical effects in this with the blood and the teeth and like his nails, it looks pretty good. It's very gruesome, but it looks good. Yeah, like look at the teeth and stuff. Like, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, we have the brothers there. We have another character. I can't remember his name. He's been in a bunch of movies before too, but obviously he's been bitten or already turned into some sort of demon or vampire already as well. Yep, and we got Haley Steinfeld here. Looks like they're about to get it on. Like I said, it looks average there. Some more crazy stuff happening, but no. Okay, let's get into this real quick. I'm gonna maximize the screen real quick. For whatever reason, and I told my wife this when I saw the trailer the first time. For whatever reason, I feel as though she looks hotter as a vampire with like blood all on her face than she does just regular. Weird. I know. But we being honest here. It's just me and you talking. It's just us. I feel like I can be myself around you. Yeah, a little odd. But I feel like she looks hot there. Not gonna lie. But yeah, and I like her accent and how she's playing it there. It's interesting to see her play like a bad character, because everything that I've seen her in, she's always been a good character, a very peaceful character. So yeah, here's the guy who I said I've seen in a bunch of movies before, but I can't remember his name. Yeah, but it definitely looks like it's going down at the Speakeasy. So yeah, I'm excited for the movie. I want to see more, or I need to see the reviews first. If it comes out that it's a solid movie, I will definitely check it out. If they say that it's a flop and it's bad, I'm not gonna watch it. Or maybe I'll wait until it comes out on, Amazon or Hulu or something, and I can, pay $20 and watch it at home. But otherwise, I think it's gonna be good. Ryan Coogler has not put out a dud. I don't know if it's gonna be a classic, but I think we can all expect it to be good. So yeah. Are you excited for this movie? Do you want to see it? Are you going to go to the theater to see it? Is it a hang out at home movie and watch it? I don't know. But either way, let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I can use all the subs I can get. If you don't sub, I might turn into a vampire and come find and track you down. So I really appreciate you for checking out this video. And don't be a stranger. Peace. All right. So that is about it, I think. Let's switch up this real quick. So yeah. Katie said movie to watch at home. Yeah, it probably is. It probably isn't gonna be great, but it might be decent. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. But yeah. Yeah, that is going to end our CinemaCon coverage for today. I thought that there was a bunch of information that came out, and so that's why I was like, dude, I got to get on stream today and talk about everything that's going on, or everything that happened this past week at CinemaCon. So I really appreciate you for tuning in and watching this episode of Watch Stuff with Us. Like I always say, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below. Hit that notification bell so that you're notified each and every time we go live in 2025. Right now we're covering and watching Daredevil Born Again. We will be starting The Handmaid's Tale season 6 this week as well. Coming up in a week, or a little more than a week, we will be watching The Last of Us season 2 on stream, live for everybody, doing live watch parties every week. So this is your one-stop shop for everything that is going to be coming out over the next few months. And if you like hearing us talk, and if you don't like hearing us talk, still hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, do all the buttons, do all the things. I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today. Don't be a stranger, and I will see you when I see you. Peace.